Who cares about Avatar? No one quite seems to know. James Cameron's 2009 Behemoth, the highest grossing film in the world until Avengers Endgame a decade later, has been at the centre of a small cultural fracas in the lead up to its COVID-delayed sequel. One half of the internet has fervently defended the film against claims by the others that it's, as actors and podcast host Griffin Newman once coined, only memorable for being unmemorable. Where is its mark on the world? Where are the legions of fans strutting around in blue body paint and wiggly cat ears? Where are the imitators? Shouldn't there have been a million or more derivative films about aliens defending themselves from colonization? But before we get into this, I'd like to say hello guys and gals, I'm Nick and welcome to Firthy's Feedback. I can answer those questions no better than anyone else. But sitting down 13 years later to watch Avatar: The Way of Water, after years of Cameron promising his follow-up would make us shit ourselves with our mouths wide open, I did start to wonder whether we've been looking at things from entirely the wrong angle. These films, which are largely identical in tone, don't feel like acts of love, but of material achievement. They exist more to be respected than to be adored, signposts on the road of cinema history marking the end of one era and the beginning of another. Avatar redefined the notion of CGI spectacle. Hollywood has spent the years since pumping out extended cinematic universes just to try and match its sense of grandiose importance. Avatar: The Way of Water is, once again, a gauntlet thrown down at the feet of the industry. I can't say I cared all that much about its story, its themes, or its characters, but its unimpeachable effects work make it feel like I'd locked eyes with the future. It's an achievement of such technological clarity that I'd instantly buy any flat screen TV that was showing it in a shop. The plot, if anything, is an inconvenient distraction from the real pleasure of looking and guffawing. The first film saw human marine Jake Sully switch sides, betraying his fellow colonizers on the moon of Pandora in order to join up with the alien Na'vi. In Avatar's final scene, he transferred his consciousness into a Na'vi body for good. A decade later, we're reunited with him and his mate for life Neytiri, now with their own family unit in tow. They have 3 children and have adopted the teenage Kiri, who was born Jesus-like from the avatar of Dr. Grace Augustine from the first film. Then there's Spider, a white human boy with dreadlocks who hangs around like a stray and offers us a solid preview of what Disney's inevitable live-action Tarzan will look like. Their paradisal bliss is short-lived as, once again, very bad humans return in order to colonize Pandora once more, and they do so for over 3 hours. The screenplay offers us 3 separate reasons for this. Earth is on its deathbed and humanity needs a new home. There's a new extremely rare and expensive substance on Pandora on top of the energy conducting material unobtainium, and they're somehow still mad at Jake for betraying them. This time, the formerly dead Colonel Miles Quaritch has had his consciousness cloned into a Na'vi avatar. Jake and his family are forced to flee, seeking sanctuary among the water-dwelling Na'vi, who are a different shade of blue. Hence, The Way of Water, which is really Cameron's excuse to boggle the audience's mind with underwater sequences that are so indistinguishable from reality that the events of The Matrix seem all the more like a terrifying plausibility. The film's controversial use of a higher frame rate, speeding up the standard 24 frames per second to 48 frames per second, is certainly disconcerting in parts, but it also does away with the typically blurry sludginess of CGI-heavy blockbusters as of late. There's always been a barrier preventing total immersion into CGI worlds, but Pandora seems so tangible that it's the humans here who look fake. think. The beauty of Way of Water, though, stops there. It's hard to find much artfulness in its compositions, which seem mostly to borrow from the baseline language of video games, complete with excessive POV shots. And there's little heart to the story, which compounds the narrative problems of the first film by once more laying the glory of anti-colonial resistance at the foot of a man who's gone native. The Na'vi are no more than a vague, exoticized blend of real indigenous cultures. Cameron, at this point, seems interested less in being an artist than a cinematic frontiersman. That's the point of The Way of Water. It's not about what the film has to offer us now, but what it tells us about the future. What do you guys think? Do you agree it lacks substance in the story but looked beautiful? And what did you think about the movie overall? Let me know below.